Last month, I went out of the country and I turned off my funnel because I didn't want to work. Plus, I have so many leads from this funnel that I can't keep up with them all. I thought I turned it off. I had this particular lead that was texting back from the auto text. So I called him. I made a listing appointment with him. This month, I have two closings. Both are from people clicking on my new construction campaign.
So I got 7 on paper here. And let's see, 1, 2, 3. 4 of those were actually houses I sold.
I did one solid month. Out of that, I generated, there was like 60 to 70 leads. And I've got at least 4 people that want to sell and buy.
Most new construction is not a first-time home buyer, so they have a property to sell. It does put you in a situation where you get a lot of time back in your business. You're not showing 20 or 30 different homes, writing 5 or 10 different offers like you would in a traditional resale transaction.
One of them I wasn't able to get a hold of last weekend when they came in. Finally got a hold of her on Friday, and I'll be hopefully speaking with her this evening, and it's a seller lead. So she wants to sell first, and she's looking to buy new construction.
Clients this year that I've worked with from the campaign, 2 of them have already bought and sold, and then 1 of them sold, and I am currently helping him find a house now. So it's definitely worth the $10 a day ad spend.
Okay, good morning, good afternoon, depending on where you're hailing from. My name's Kevin Flaherty. This is Lisa. She's going to be monitoring the chat today, helping out, answering questions. This is live. We do like participation, so I don't feel like I'm talking to myself in my office sitting here. So we've got some people just coming in here right now. We're going to get going in about another 15 seconds, and I see, we've got some team leaders. We've got some of the Irish in here. Top of the morning to you, Mrs. O'Reilly. Lots of people. We'll just get going here in a few seconds. Let me tee up my slides. Okay, you guys are in the right place today. As I said, my name's Kevin Flaherty. I'm your host today, and you're going to see something here today that you've never seen before in the real estate industry. I promise you that. You might have to stay to the end to see it, but basically, you're going to see something you've never before seen in the industry that is relevant to moving you ahead. Doesn't matter where you are. You could be anywhere in North America. You have not seen anything like this. So you are in the right place today to move the needle ahead. So let's get through some of the basic information. What you're going to discover is how you can leverage a $50,000 a month marketing and implementation team to double your business in the next 12 months, 100% free. I am going to keep saying it over and over and over again. Nothing's going to cost you a dime. And I know that sounds too good to be true. We'll explain in this webinar how we can actually do that. It allows you to keep all your commission. We're not talking about any additional splits or costs or fees. Cost you nothing ever. So that's what we're going to lead with. I'm going to say it over and over again because I know it sounds too good to be true. So you're going to discover exactly what top agents are doing to close 3 to 5 deals a month during this market shift, and doing it without cold calling or begging for referrals, by the way. How to zero cost your marketing so you can have an unlimited budget. The exact ads and methods we're using today to generate low cost and even no cost quality leads. And how we're leveraging AI as an inside sales agent. This is kind of a great big deal right now. We had 3 full-time inside sales agents on our team. Literally for over a decade, had more than 3 inside sales agents. And this thing is unbelievable. We still have an inside sales agent, but we don't need near as many with AI. And how to build your brand and become the go-to agent in any market or niche that you choose. Here's the good news. This is the rare partnership opportunity where we're going to help you with your strategy to grow your business without asking you to buy anything or pay us in any way. Who's this for? If you're sick of chasing and want to start attracting business, if your business isn't as predictable or as consistent as you'd like it to be, if you're tired of overpaying companies for leads and technology, if 1 to 3 more deals would be helpful during this market shift, and if you don't like or aren't good at implementation of systems and strategies and automations necessary for success, you're definitely in the right place. So this is my belief. I believe that if your phone was ringing daily with clients that wanted to buy and sell real estate and were open to doing business with you, that you'd be able to consistently sell a lot more homes. Generally, it's not handling the business, it's generally getting your hands on the business to begin with. And it's not, your ideas. You probably got a lot of ideas. It's knowing which one of those ideas are most effective to moving the needle and how to implement them. Implement them is a huge piece of the pie where agents fall down. And we're going to solve that problem for you today. Here's my goal. Show you a clear path to building the business of your dreams, to remove the brain damage caused by attempting to implement on your own, having you accomplish all your business and income lifestyle goals, and to live your best life. So, overly brief introduction on me. I have over 30 years experience. The former brokerage I was at, I was the overall #1 top producing agent for 10 straight years. They had over 1,800 agents when I left there. And I've arrived at my newer brokerage where I've taken their top award twice, called Icon. Since I changed companies, yeah, there's that. And then professionally coached some of the top producing agents, teams, and brokerages in North America. And I've helped you help grow a global group of realtors. There's over 13,000 of us called Honey Badgers. That's who's putting this on today. And basically, we share cutting edge tool strategies and best practices essentially in our group. That's our tribe to help you grow your business. And we also implement for realtors 100% free because we know that's where they often fall down. This is my wife and my son, who's a real estate broker as well, and our 2 girls. I'm a private pilot. We spent about 14 years flying around. Most of the trips we made were to the US. We did fly east and west in Canada, but quite frankly, it was warmer in the US. So actually, type into the chat, if you don't mind, type into the chat where you're from. Just give me an idea of the locations we're dealing with here today. So type into the chat where you're from, if you don't mind. We can adapt the presentation a little bit too, based on where you're from as well.
We've got Hamilton, Brampton, Ontario, Toronto, Bend, Oregon, Atlanta, Georgia, Collingwood, Barrie, Toronto. We've got Wasaga Beach, Milton, another Barrie, Coburg, Georgetown.
Cool. Okay, so we've got some of our American friends are here with us, and but a lot of Canadians for the most part. So I'll keep that in mind as we're going through here that we're speaking to both. This is my buddy Steve and our wives in the background. Interestingly enough, about within 2 years, Steve and I started spending a lot of time together. He had his own aircraft as well, and he was a private pilot. This is me and a couple of buddies. We're doing some formation flying. Actually, this is with my American buddies, actually, in the US. And the thing about this, these are the exact same planes. Different color, paint. Everything else about the aircraft is identical. And this is landing information. And on this day, we had a very, very, very strong headwind, just like we do in real estate right now. And here's the thing. When you have the same tools, same equipment, and you do exactly the same thing with them at the same time, you get the same results. Now, you can't hear us communicating, but we have the exact same manifold pressure on the engines. We have the same flap configuration. We're doing something called flaring right here, something that Toronto plane didn't do when it landed. And we're cutting power to 0 right about here. And you can notice he's not gaining an inch on me, and I'm not losing an inch on him. In other words, the same tools under the same conditions get the same results if you're doing everything at exactly the same time. And that has a point to it. This is us down in Turks and Caicos. We're from Ontario, Canada, so that's about as far away as we've flown. That's quite a way. The plane's designed to be travel. It's very fast. We like to boat on our time off. And if you would wonder what would cause me to dress up like this, you would be correct if you assumed the people that I hang around with. So, why am I showing you? I'm not showing you this to impress you. I'm showing it to impress upon you. I've been living my best life through real estate. And the more willing you are to let us copy our strategies and tools into your system, designed exclusively for you in your marketplace, the better results you're going to get. And again, I'm going to keep saying this. This is all 100% free. I know it's hard to believe. You trust me, you landed in the right place today. For my American friends, this is my American buddy. His name's Jay. Um, good friend of mine. We used to coach in the same system together, one of the largest coaching companies in North America. We were both coaches there together. And the thing about Jay, he's number 2 Caldwell banker in the world, selling over 500 homes a year. And here's the point. You can't hang around people like this and not have them change you, right? So the people you're hanging around with, if you show me the people you're hanging around with the most, I'll show you your future. I have a confession to make, though. I discovered that I'm most fulfilled when I'm helping other realtors win big. I've been doing this for a very, very long time, longer than 30 years. I just stopped counting at 30 years, so you wouldn't know how old I am. But when you do it for this long, things change. I don't get that rush of adrenaline you used to get when you do a transaction or anything anymore, but I do get a rush of adrenaline when I take an agent and show them the missing piece, the missing puzzle piece in their business, and the excitement they get when they realize there's no limit to the business they can do when they put the proper systems and tools in place and use them correctly. What else is important? How to turn all your social media platforms into lead generating machines without stressing about what content you should be creating or how to create it. What else is important? How to consistently convert more leads by leveraging systems, automations, technology without dealing with the brain damage of tech overwhelm. The key systems, processes, and strategies you must have in place to grow your business and remove the chaos to get your time back. I'm going to give you a bonus. Even though I'm going to show you how to leverage our team to build a monthly passive income in your business, trust me, you can do this as well. Most real estate careers, listen, we trade time for money, and trading time for money is not what successful people teach us. And I promise you, I'm going to show you a system where as you're driving ahead in your real estate career and you're doing real estate transactions, how you can also be building an off ramp in the real estate business. Listen, been around, listen, quite frankly, to closer to 4 decades. And this might sound like a joke, but I'm not kidding. I have never been to a realtor retirement party, ever. Ever. Actually, that's not true. I have. They're called funerals. So without an off ramp, it's challenging. We don't like to think about it as realtors, but trust me, as you get further along in your career, you'll wish you had an off ramp. So we're going to show you how to do that today. Why is this different? Innovations in the real estate brokerage model that you may or may not be familiar with. I suspect you're not familiar with, or if you think you're familiar with it, you're not, have made the opportunity bigger for me to help you free rather than grow a bigger team or open up a brokerage. That's the reality of what is happening today and why we're able to offer you the things that you're going to see that it's going to seem too good to be true. But trust me, this may very well be the solution you're looking for in real estate. All right. So early in my career, I discovered a problem. I made cold calls. I called expireds for sale by owners, called my sphere. But when I wasn't making calls or out door knocking, my business didn't grow. And it led to something we call the real estate roller coaster, where we have 1 month, one good month followed by a bad month, a couple good months followed by a couple bad months, a couple bad months followed by a couple good months, over and over and over again, right? And it's exhausting. So it wasn't always easy for me either. So basically, I struggled. I got into real estate. All right. So I'll tell you, it was 1988. So I've been 37 years in the business, essentially. And in 1988, if you have about 5 years experience in real estate, you're going to see a really distinct parallel here. Because 5 years in real estate would take you back prior to COVID when everything was magical, right? If you had a real estate license and a heartbeat, you were doing well. And that was just like 1988. I got into real estate in 1988. I was a cocky kid because, man, was I doing really, really well in 1988 and 1989. And I thought, man, I found what I've meant to do. This is amazing. Oh my God, success isn't that hard. And then I got my ass handed to me in 1990. And that parallel will be almost exactly the same if you got in around 4 or 5 years ago and you did really well. And then this market hit. A lot the same. And here's the bottom line. I struggled with getting clients. It seemed like after coming off that ride, it seemed like everything I did didn't work. It went from everything I touched turned into a beautiful commission. And then everything I touched just didn't work in a different market. I maxed out my credit cards. I felt like I looked like a failure. I had no active clients. I had no real sphere of influence. I was so young at the time. I didn't really, my sphere was not at the point where I was so young, they were just not buying houses yet. And I had no real clear path on what to do to get out of it. But there was a turning point. And back in the late 80s, at the brokerage I was with anyways, they had you in every week. And I'd be sitting around, about 50 realtors or so, and they'd literally go around the room pointing the finger at you going, okay, what did you do last week? And what were the results, kind of thing. And it was embarrassing. But here's what I did see. I saw other agents having success, and not just a little bit of success, lots of success in the worst market that I had been exposed to, which ends up being the worst market since this one, right? So 3 decades I was in the worst market I could have been in. But I saw other agents having success. And quite frankly, it drove me crazy. So I decided to really study proven masters. It's shocking to me how many realtors are willing to listen to people who have not been successful at any high level at all, who aren't even selling real estate in the real estate market today, and sometimes who are not even realtors. It's shocking to me. And it happens. I'm seeing it over and over and over again. So you've got to really study who's doing this today in this market getting success. So I went to everything I could find that kind of met that criteria. I committed to real marketing that was proven in the marketplace I was in. And I figured out that there was a better way. I invested money I didn't have. I committed to following what they were doing to the letter. I committed to direct response marketing. My phone started to ring with clients by the way, calling me with the direct response marketing thing. And I started moving ahead because after I started getting deals, I started being more intentional on copying other things those people were doing too. And I went from the top 50, top 20 to the top 10, the top 6. At this point, I'm with a brokerage that has over 1,800 agents, top 3. And then I was the overall. I remember when I was top 3, the lady who has been number 1 for a number of years told me at an awards banquet, you need to just slow down, because she could see the implementation of systems. When she looked at me, even if she looked at me online, she could see the differences forming, and it was getting stronger and stronger and stronger. And then I was the top producer for 10 straight years out of 1,800 agents, over 1,800 agents. So that's kind of my journey, and you can call it modeling success. I just, here's what it is. I copied, and the better you can copy, the better you will do. We're entrepreneurs. We like to take stuff and change it. Start by copying exactly, and someone who's doing what you're trying to do in the current market. And then the other thing that makes this difference is if you can align yourself with not only someone who's doing what you want to accomplish, but they have a proven system to get results for others as well. That's another kind of big piece in this. So there's only two paths to success in real estate: prospecting and turning advertising into the profit. Here's the problem with prospecting. You have to have a high degree of sales skills. You have to be able to tolerate no after no after no. It's erratic. It requires incredible persistence. Quite frankly, I think it damages long-term customer value. The bottom line is it sucks. This is why most people 2 years after they get their license are gone out of the business. This is a writer downer. It is not the best real estate agent that succeeds. It is the best marketer. Period. End of story. I know all kinds of fabulous realtors. Realtors I would use if I was moving, right? Like, they're diligent. They know their craft. They've got decades of experience. They care sincerely about doing really good for their clients. And they're always struggling and always failing. And that's very frustrating. So it's not the best realtor that wins. It's the best marketer. If you even think of yourself as a realtor as opposed to a marketer, you're already behind the 8 ball. You see, a realtor would hire somebody to do their marketing. A marketer would not think to hire somebody to do their marketing, right? So it changes your mindset. Without marketing, you don't have any leads. Without leads, you don't have any sales. Without sales, you don't have any revenue. And without revenue, you have a hobby probably confined to the strength of your sphere. And as you know, your sphere is completely inconsistent and unpredictable. Good marketers have a process for finding higher performing alternatives that can be leveraged. Huge word there, leveraged, by the way, multiplied and magnified for higher performance. So what I realized, and I understand why I was asking myself this question when I was failing, I was asking the wrong question. How do I make a sale today? That is definitely the wrong question. When you're in overwhelm, I get that's kind of your default go-to. This is the question you should be asking. How do I create a system of attraction that brings a steady, reliable stream of ideal clients to me, asking for my assistance or advice as the trusted authority on real estate, or even better, who are predetermined to be my clients if accepted? Yeah, that is the question. But it's hard to do that when you're in overwhelm. So that's why we do the right things in the right order. Milestone number one, there's 3 milestones. Milestone number one, you need to get the lowest cost leads is the fastest way to consistently close 2 to 3 transactions a month. What is the lowest cost to get the best leads consistently and start closing? That's the question we have to answer right at the beginning. Nothing else matters. A lady called me a few weeks ago. She had spent $20,000. She's a newer agent. $20,000 on branding. And it got her nothing, of course. And this company, that she listened to wasn't even really, do this branding and you're going to be successful. Wrong thing, wrong order, right? First thing you have to do is start getting you some deals right away before you can be more intentional about things like branding and content creation down the road. So this is the first question to ask. So there's 3 milestones. Milestone number one is essentially direct response marketing is how we're going to do it to get you business now. Then we'll be more intentional about branding and content creation and those milestones. So direct response marketing is what saved me. Still as applicable today as it was back then, by the way. So this strategy aims to generate an immediate response to new leads quickly, quite frankly. That is the secret. And there's no branding at this point. Any branding that did occur is a fringe benefit. Sometimes even unbranded marketing lowers the cost of ads. So here's how it works. Message to market match, right? You could have a message today that was crushing it 3 years ago and gets nothing today. So we do have to have that message to market match. How do you determine that? What is the right message? Think about it like this. What is the conversation at your client's dinner table? Their fears, their concerns, their hopes, their desires. What are they talking about at their dinner table right now? That's the right message to market match. Yeah. Rules of direct response marketing. It must have an offer. They must have a reason to respond now. It must tell them what to do. Now, when you do a lot of ads, you realize things like this. Like if let's say you're doing a Facebook ad and it has a learn more button right here. If you have what to do above the fold, up above the ad, or what they can see before they click on anything, it tells them what to do. It's unbelievable. That increase your response time like response like 30, 40%. And I know the argument is, well, it says just learn more, just click right there. But it doesn't always happen. If you tell them what to do above the fold, above the ad, big response. These are the little nuances that matter. Tracking and accountability, only no cost branding at this point, follow up, great copy and a hook. And ultimately, at the end of the day, results rule. If it's not working, you have to change it, right? You have to be on that. You can't just let it run and, well, it's not working, right? And to get exponentially better results, it's not one particular thing, it's a combination of things. Changing the headline, 21%. That's the message to market match. Improving your offer or unique selling proposition. Why should we select you above and beyond everyone else, right? 1000%. How to communicate your unique selling proposition, response time, automation, what you say on the phone, the tools that you're using. You start putting these things together, and that's where the magic wand is. That's where the magic starts happening, right? Not one of them. So why is it struggle with lead gen? Money, lack of a proven system, marketing principles. Tech overwhelm is huge, by the way, and lack of a follow-up system. So this is Rami saying, just to give you an idea, starting out, the goal, they weren't still on milestone number one, 3.475 million in less than 3 months. This is a text conversation on the ads we set up for them. We do it for you. This is a young guy, a really young guy. He had every reason to fail, quite frankly. Almost no life experience. And he's talking to the person who set the ads up for him. His name's Braden, who's also young, by the way. Bro, these leads are fire, laugh out loud. How many are you working with? Got 3 in the pipeline, all about 600. Nikki Gregory, just got our first new build deal off the ad. Now, some of you might think, I don't want new builds and things like that. What happens is when you market new, so if somebody doesn't have a listing to leverage and you market a new build, if you grab the house that is guaranteed to be a second-time home buyer, not a first-time home buyer, you're actually targeting listings, right? Because they're looking at that and you get the listing on the back end. So that's kind of the strategy. But the builder here said, the builder who let us use the photo of their house is completely blown away because of how many people are contacting him regarding the ad she's running. And then he wants us to go this weekend to show him another development that he's starting. So just an example of that. So what's possible? Imagine waking up every day with buyers and sellers that are looking to buy and sell and are happy to work with you. Listen, I grew a large team to 27 people. I can tell you this. I talk to people that say, I want to grow a team, and their own cup isn't overfilling, right? You will never grow a team if your cup's not overflowing, because here's how it works. You fill up your cup, and when it's overflowing, you get another cup, another realtor, and then the overflow goes into that cup. And you don't get another one until that realtor's cup is full. I had like 3 realtors. I remember the same day came to me and said, we can't handle we didn't give leads on our team. And this has nothing to do with teams or anything, but to give you an example, we didn't give leads, we gave appointments. We had inside sales agents booking appointments, right? So 3 of them came to me and said, I can't handle any more appointments, right? They were swamped. So that's how you grow a team. And when you're getting that message, guess what? It's time for more realtors, right? So after today, no more paying lead providers like Zillow for overpriced crappy leads and locations you don't even want. No more depending on agent and broker referral fees that take 25, 30, 35, 40% of your commissions. After today, no more worrying about where your next deal is going to come from. And no more mind-numbing cold calls and chasing business, which really sucks, by the way. And after today, no more brain damage when it comes to technology. We're going to remove that from your plate. Here's a right message to market match, for example. So these just listed homes in Frisco must sell. Check out the list of available homes by tapping the learn more button. See that right above the fold there? That's what I meant above the fold. Tap learn more. You think, well, to learn more, I'm sure they get it. You do that and watch the ad increase in popularity and drive down the cost per lead. So this right message to market match would have been good when inventory was really low, right? Not long ago, right? But now with inventory high, completely flipped around, right? This is the one that won't necessarily work. It might, I mean, it'll work, but not like it did when there was, you could advertise first person to get to the listing kind of thing. Kind of like this, be the first to find out new listings, homes listed in a given location, and then reasons why this is different, right? And that they've been missing out. Price reduced homes. Now we're talking the current market where we've got lots of inventory. The buyers kind of seem like they've seen everything, and what they're looking for is the deal in all the inventory out there, right? Much better market to message to market match with this. Sold home data. Listen, in America, you've been able to do this for a while. We've actually been able to do it for a few years here now in Canada because of the Supreme Court ruling. But basically, how many are utilizing this? This is very powerful. You want your website to be a one-stop shop and include sold data. And if you look around at your competition, you'll find a lot of people are not doing this. And yet it's kind of a big deal. You talk to people, it's like they always want to know what the home down the street sold for and stuff. You want to get them into your system, start offering this. So here's one of the biggest mistakes I see realtors making. When you make a promise, you're running one of those Facebook ads or whatever, when you make a promise and deliver on that promise immediately, it builds what? And you can't answer me, so I'm going to tell you, it builds trust. I see realtors running ads because they don't really know how to do it. So it's not an instant. We live in a microwave society. People want it now. If they fill out their information and they don't get what you promised them, man, they're not filling out anything else on that has your name on it anyways. Right? So you want the system, if you're advertising, exclusive listings or homes with pools or whatever it is, you want them to have sold information. The second they complete their information and give you that, you need to give them whatever sold information right then and there, right? So that's I know some people think, well, I get the request and then when I get a chance, I'll send it to them or I'll just call them and right. That is not, that's making a mistake. Lead ads. One of the things about lead ads, this is, if you're not familiar with lead ads, it's where Facebook lowers the cost per lead when you're keeping them on Facebook. Facebook doesn't like you taking them off the platform. Their goal is to keep people on there. So lead ads is how you do that. The other thing about lead ads is there's a less Santa Claus at the North Pole information because it pulls the information right from the Facebook profile that they're using and inserts it into the field for them. And yeah, they can back out the information and put in false information, but at the end of the day, people are very lazy online, so it increases the quality of the lead. So what is the number one metric that impacts lead conversion? So we're just going to deal with like the biggest points here. Type in if you know what the number one metric that impacts lead conversion. You got a bunch of leads. What is the number one thing when you're getting leads that you need to focus on? Number one. And this isn't even debatable in the industry, by the way. This is not my opinion. This is well established and proven through an MIT study. What's the number one metric that impacts lead conversion? If you're going to have a lead conversion strategy, what's the number one thing you can do that really moves the difference? What do we got, Lisa?
We've got response time, call them instantly, speed to lead.
I love it. Wow, we've got a lot of people know what they're talking about in here. That is exactly correct. What happens, however, though, is people completely underestimate the magnitude of the hole, the big crater that they're going to fall into. That they listen. We do a lot of work with it. All the stuff we do to generate business. You need to focus on this one. So we're going to show you a couple of things that we're doing. So first of all, there's that MIT study. In fact, if you look at the study, don't look at the study. You probably should take this out, because if you look at the study, here's what you might conclude. If you don't get back that lead within 5 minutes, you may as well not get back. If you don't get back that lead in 30 minutes, it's over, right? I'm not saying do that, but 5 minutes versus 30 minutes increases the odd of contacting the person by 106 times. This is an MIT study. It's not my opinion. And then within 5 minutes versus 30 minutes increases the odds of qualifying them by 21 times. Oh my gosh. Like, that is unbelievable. So that obviously has to be number one. Now, a lot of people don't have staff that are, so how do we handle it? I had 3 people working 7 days a week, night and day, literally with a river of leads coming in, and their sole job, they were licensed realtors. They weren't even allowed to the office. They only had one job: deal with the incoming leads, period, and deal with them within 5 minutes, right? Now, if you don't have inside sales agents, what can you do? Well, first thing you can do, it's called a missed call text back. So here's a phone call coming in that gets missed, and this automated text goes out right away. Hi, it's Kevin Flaherty, Home Selling System. Sorry we missed your call. We'll get back to you shortly. Feel free to text us back here, and we'll respond at the earliest, right? And guess what? They do. They responded within, and if you even look at it, it was within 5 minutes. Hi, just wanted to know what commission for selling a home in Shelburne is. That's a little village up north of me. By the way, side note, off topic for a minute. If you don't know the answer to this question, it's, I don't know, I haven't seen your home yet. If you ever answer that question without being in the home, you'll never get to the home to answer the question. There's always somebody working for less. So you need to be able to get there so that you can articulate your value. Anyways, I digress. So this is one of the things you can do to try and get back. And you can theorize as to why this is so impactful. I think it's because, I don't know, I just look at the study, but I think it's because within 5 minutes, guess what? They're still at the computer thinking about real estate when you call them. 30 minutes later, they're bathing the kid, they're cutting the grass outside, like they're just, in a different world. They might even forgot where they were 30 minutes ago, what they were thinking about, right? So that's why this is so powerful. So one way, we've been doing this for a long time, called missed call text back. Here's how, and you're going to think the same way I did. I thought I would never use that in a million years. Give me a chance to explain, because if you're like me, you're going to go, I wouldn't do this. But check this out. Here's what we're doing now.
Here's the challenge most realtors face. Busy schedules prevent them from answering the phone. Not answering the phone or returning a call within 5 minutes could cost you the business. Potential clients will keep calling realtors until they find one who answers. Did you know? A staggering 72% of calls to realtors go unanswered, costing them valuable business. Introducing Rena, the AI-powered voice assistant designed specifically for realtors. Created by Honey Badger's Metaverse, Rena answers calls for you, converts leads, and books appointments, all while you focus on what matters to you. No more missed opportunities, no more lost leads. Let Rena be the game changer your business needs. Roleplay with Rena yourself at 226-916-0797 or attend our free masterclass at productiveagents.ca.
So, all right, I'm going to show you about this. I'm going to give you more information on that in a minute. But first of all, I see a message from Denise. And Denise says, I've run Facebook ads, but most have the wrong phone number or the wrong email address or seeking a relationship. Might have to look at the picture of you, Denise, or sell crypto. All right. So first of all, that statement is 100% true. In fact, it's more true than most. It's a lot more true than you might think. Okay, so here's what I mean by that. I know from the amount of leads I've generated, if you're converting 1%, you're doing well. That means if you generate 100 leads, if you get one client out of it, 1%, you're doing well. If you're doing it at 2%, you are a rock star. And 3%, if somebody says they converted 3%, they're lying to you, right? Or they have a magic wand. I don't know, one of those. So you're right. But there's ways we can change that, Denise. Basically, in the past, it was generate a lot of leads, like tons of them, right? Now here's the problem with generating a lot of leads. When you generate a lot of leads, let's say you generate 100 leads. Well, no, let me back up. Let's say you generate 2-3 leads a day, right? Average for a realtor, right? Just a single person realtor. Imagine this. Here's the other fact. You have to touch the lead on average 10 times before it converts. So imagine this. If you're generating 3 leads a day, think of where you're at, how many touches you have to do in 3 months from now, right? You have to touch that 10 times, those 100 leads 10 times. 3 months from now, holy smokes, and that's what happens. The realtors don't follow up. So the solution to that problem today, and that's not the topic we're on, I'm off on the side weeds here, but is an AI that's nurturing the IDX leads that you're generating, sifting and sorting, answering the proper questions. And I promise you this, it's all by text message because a lot of people aren't picking up the phone today. So it's transitioning more to text messages. They have no idea it's not an AI. My inside sales agent came to me, saw this AI performing with IDX leads, right? Coming into our system, and essentially she was like, this thing's doing a better job than I am. And she's been like doing it for 4 years, right? This thing's doing a better job than I am. And it's faster, and it's saying it's doing a great job. So an AI to help nurture these leads is a big, big deal. But right now we're on voice. So let's continue on here. So voice AI. I had some geeky guys present this technology to me, and it was atrocious, right? Further corroborating the fact that I would never use an AI to answer my phone, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And then after the presentation, I was thinking about it for a week or two. And I thought, wait a minute, who trained that AI that did the abysmal presentation they showed me? And the answer was the same tech guys, right? You cannot train an AI to do something that you can't do. So you've probably heard about AI agents coming down the pipes. Here's what that means. Whatever person trains that AI, if a lawyer that sucks trains the AI will suck, right? If a brilliant lawyer starts training an AI, the AI will be brilliant. It's literally that simple. So think about this. I had inside sales agents, had them for 15 years. I had 3 in a row for more than 10 years. Here's what that means. I trained dozens of inside sales agents, and I'm really good at that. And it's that's the toughest job to hire for, and the toughest job to train. But you really got it. And I spent millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars looking and testing and experimenting with what works and getting the perfect system down. So I went back to the technology and I learned how to train it myself. So I trained the AI, right? And quite frankly, there's probably, I'm not tooting my own horn, but just from my experience, there's probably very few people out there that have trained as many inside sales agents on the phone as I have, right? Not to mention all the coaching and everything else and running the team for a long time. And I'm not bragging, I'm saying I trained this AI and I could not believe the result. So let me show you an idea, just so you get kind of an idea about, and by the way, before you watch this, I am not advocating the AI answering the phone at all. I'm saying you answer the phone. But here's the thing. Probabilities are, I know right now you're thinking, I always answer the phone, it's fine. No, that's what you're doing right now in the slowest market in history, right? When you get busy, if I throw 5 or 6 buyers that are active in the market right now, I promise you're not answering the phone, right? And you ever hear of a realtor? I met all kinds of realtors say, I can never break $150,000 a year or $200,000 a year. I always cap out at $250,000 a year. In the hottest market in history, they cap out. And that's because systems they can't go beyond what they can do, right? So here's what it looks like during the busiest times. Doesn't matter how hot it is, they can only ever hit a certain milestone. And here's how you know they're hitting it. they do the same amount within reason almost every year. That is the defining indicator of your systems are the problem, because as soon as you start getting busy, you can't answer the phone anymore, or you answer it so much less, and you can only take on so much a year, and your income ends up being the same every year. Start putting in pillars to help you, and those start falling away. All right. So here's an example of one. So I'm not advocating you don't answer the phone. Answer the phone. But if you can't answer the phone, what's better? A message machine? A missed call text back isn't bad. Or what I'm about to show you. Now remember, this conversation could have gone in 1,000 different directions. So this is just one example. And if you want to test it out, by all means, give that number a call and give it a try yourself. The number's not going, your phone number's not going anywhere or anything. It's going into the Honey Badger system. So don't worry about that. But give it a call and try it out. But here's an example.
Hi, you've reached the Flaherty Home Selling System team. This is Rena. How can I help you today?
Well, hi, Rena. This is Kevin. And yeah, my wife and I were thinking about making a move.
That's exciting, Kevin. Are you planning on buying, selling, or maybe both?
We would have to do both.
Great. So where do you currently live, and where are you thinking about moving to?
We live in Orangeville right now, and we're thinking about moving north to Collingwood.
Nice choice. Collingwood is beautiful. Are you fully committed to any particular realtor yet?
Nope, we don't have a realtor at all.
Perfect. When do you think you'd be ready to make the move?
We were thinking January or February.
Sounds like a plan. Would it be helpful if we provided a free opinion of value on your current house? We can also offer tips to make it more appealing to buyers. Plus, we can gather your home buying preferences for exclusive listing. It's all free and no obligation. Does that sound good?
Yeah, that sounds perfect.
Awesome. Let's set up a convenient time for you. When would be best for you and your wife?
Actually, we were wondering, would Saturday at 2 o'clock, 2 p.m. be okay?
Saturday at 2 p.m. works perfectly. Could you please confirm all the owners of the house will be present?
Yeah, it's my wife and myself, and we'll both be there.
Great. I'll get everything set up for Saturday at 2 p.m. Can I have your contact number to send you the appointment details?
Yeah, it's 226-916-8047.
Got it.
Oh,
Thank you.
sorry, I apologize. I gave you the wrong number. It's 226-917-8047.
No worries. So it's 226-917-8047. Got it. You're all set for Saturday at 2 p.m. If you have any questions before then, feel free to reach out.
Oh, actually,
Have a great day.
Rena, I do have one question. Is that okay?
Of course, Kevin. What's your question?
How much do you guys charge?
For selling your home, we'd need to see it first before providing that information. But don't worry, our team will discuss all the details with you during the appointment. Anything else on your mind?
No, that's good. Thanks. See you on Saturday. Okay, so Suzanne has a question. I'm wondering how an automated system would work when you get leads of spam calls only daily. Suzanne, oh my God. So here's the reality. I'm telling you to answer the phone, by the way, but there's a lot of calls that are coming in where we don't answer the phone. Most of the calls, like a large percentage of them, like 80-90%, are actually spam calls, right? It's genius how this thing handles them. Absolutely genius. So, and the spammers, so a lot of people, believe it or not, I wouldn't have thought anybody be tricked by that, but I'm shocked at how many people actually think they're talking to a person. but the spam callers know exactly when they're talking to an AI and they're hanging up. It's actually hilarious. And the ones that didn't, it's actually hilarious listening to it. So it is an amazing filter for spam calls, Suzanne, just an FYI.
Hi, you break
And by the way,
Flaherty home.
not selling this, it's all free, 100%. Just let you know, who trains the AI. AI agents are going to be the future, right? So if you know anything about AI, everything will be AI agents in the future that has to do with who trained this thing. And that's going to be the quality of it. So IDX, the IDX system you use, in other words, that's an IDX system in real estate is a web page where you can search all listings, right? Available. And there's all kinds of things in good. There's a lot of shitty IDXs, and there's ones out there that are amazing. Like a lot of them have behavioral alerts. That's like if somebody looks at the same home 5 times, they send you an alert, right? That's a behavior that person's indicating that they're very interested in that home. That'd be a really good time to call them. But what's even better is the IDX systems that are nurturing the lead, modifying the criteria, talking about them, has a memory on what they've said before. It is literally what an ISA is doing, short of making the call to the person. And here's what it does. It takes that 100 leads or so where you're going to get one client, and it helps sift them down to the serious ones. So the AI, if this person answering the right question, like they don't have a realtor and they're, answers all the right questions that the AI answers, and then saying, yeah, we're willing to talk to them. It's reaching out to you. The alarm bells are quite loud, reaches out to you and says, you need to call this person right now. That's the future of nurturing. Because I'll tell you, the biggest time suck on a realtor is you're generating a bunch of leads and you spend your whole day nurturing them in your IDX website. That is a massive drain on your time. So listen, here's my thoughts on AI. You need 2 AIs in your system. I mean, there's some other things you can do to help you write letters and emails and things like that. And I'm not talking about that stuff. There's 2 primary areas you need AI: answering your phone and in your IDX system. Here's my recommendation. You get those 2 things working and you forget about AI, because AI will suck up all your time playing around with it. It's changing weekly anyways. So don't waste your time with AI. There are some other systems. You get the 2 primary ones and then you drive on and you don't think about AI again for a long time. So examples of lead cost: $1.83 a lead, 0.73 cents a lead, 0.4 cents a lead. Reality is that's a little lower than what I'm seeing. There's more normal, 246 a lead. Sharon Bicknell, 375 under contract within 15 days. So again, we're still on milestone number 1. What do we do that works quickly now, right? Milestone number 1. Brand new agent with us setting up their system. By the way, if you don't know this, you probably experienced it. These places you buy leads and everything else, they're in their system. You don't have access to the ads. Here's what's happening. They're skimming a huge portion of your advertising budget right off the bat, as high as 50%, right? Not even going to your ads because they're skimming it first. We come into your system, build it out in your IDX side, connect it to your Facebook account. We build it in you have a control. You can turn up your ads or turn down ads based on the budget, right? And there's no skimming of it at all, right? 32 leads in 2 days, and our new ad you set up for me down to 0.68 cents a lead with just this ad, $2.81 overall, right? Stacy, I'm killing it with these leads, have at least 12 that are interacting and setting up searches. That's in 1 month. And then something else. Devin, oh my God, someone called hello today. So I called them. They were so sweet on the phone. I told me that they were looking for it. I'm setting them up listings. These ads are definitely working. Farrah Bunny, 94 cents a lead, working with 4 buyers and showing schedule. These are all like very quickly. So again, imagine waking up tomorrow. You know exactly where your business is going to come from. No question about it. And yes, Suzanne, 1 out of 100, right? But getting you 1 or 2 deals a month is a couple of 100 leads nurtured properly. right? But that's only the first step. But we don't stop there. That's to create cash flow because if you're not making any money, you're going to be out of the business, right? Unless you have a whole bunch of money in the bank account. Once we get some cash flow coming in, we can be more intentional about the vision of where we're going to take your business. So this brings us to milestone number 2. Here's the goal. Align your business to your higher purpose and build a personal brand around serving your ideal client. Building brand is the next step, right? Your personal brand foundation, creating your brand character, developing your message, storytelling, developing your brand identity, brand cohesiveness. That's across all your channels. Creating intentional online presence, getting featured in media, right? So, for example, this is Liliana Grove, one of a honey badger, and she's up in a town north of me called Collingwood. And here's a message I get. Hi, Kevin. Oh my God. This one came to me. The other ones were going to Braden. Oh my God, amazing news. What's up? Just got contacted by C2D News. They wanted to interview me. That's great. When's the interview so I can watch September 9th? So I ran on here for the purpose of this presentation. I went on. So for my American friends, CTV News is a national, it's our largest news outlet. It's national, but it also does local stuff as well, does both. So I went on to CTV News and I pulled her up. Now, here's the thing. Liliana is a new agent working in an area where there's agents that have been established for 2, 3, 4 decades, right? And this news broadcast was looking for somebody to interview in that area for a reason. And based on looking at things, they concluded she was the best one to look at. Here's how it works. We take you through the process to identify your ideal client, your brand story. And we create your brand elements, your bios and your graphics for all your social profiles. But we have to grab your marketplace as well. What do you want to accomplish? And then we have to analyze you and your marketplace and create the proper strategy. What's your geographic target? How many people are in that is a big deal. Whom do you love working with? First-time home buyers, move-up sellers, empty nesters, seniors. Everybody's different, right? Luxury. Who can you relate the most to, but who can you also provide the most value to? So once we get the strategy, the background, the demographics, the interest, the common objections, the goals of fear, then we can start. And we have forms we use to collect this information from you. So you can think about it while you're filling it out. And then we start creating your brand strategy across all your systems, right? White papers, your team build your community guidelines, white papers for your target market. And then we can start focusing on content strategy. Once that's in place, those 2 other milestones, now we can develop a personal and professional relevant across all platforms. So content strategy, never wonder what content to create again. We create customized content templates that provide a done-for-you process for creating and posting on social media. You're going to be able to do this with the help that we give. We can't do the video for you because it's them getting the reason why my leads are like, Kevin's already my agent, already decided when they call and they feel like they know me, right? I still have people coming up to me at the supermarket talking to me like I know me, and I'm really uncomfortable because I'm like, oh my God, where am I supposed to remember this person from? How am I going to tell them I don't know? I don't remember. And then it turns out I don't know them. They're just talking to me like they know me, right? That's that goal where they've already decided you're their agent, right? It's actually more pressure than you think, by the way, because when you go there, you just have to not screw it up to get the listing, as opposed to I have to win this listing, right? Here's how it works. We take you through a process to create your content that speaks directly to your ideal client, turning your social media into lead generation machines. 17 modules, but we're going to handhold you, walking you through your first 10 videos. This is all free, by the way, not selling you a thing. Going to keep saying it over and over and over again. Introduction to YouTube for real estate, the strategy, the tactics. By the way, I'm going to show you a team here in a minute that you're going to get free. They're a $50,000 a month marketing and implementation team you're going to get free. They're arguably the best team in the world. In fact, in the YouTube category, if you know who the #1 person in real estate for generating organic leads in real estate is in the world, by the way, this team is the one who trained them. He's a honey badger, and this team trained him. So AI content creation tools. By the way, we'll show you the little things, the other tools, but don't even look at it, right? Don't even look. If it says AI, don't even look. But we'll get you daily email tool, blog creation tool, script tool, 12-month content strategy, and a creator tool. And then you've got your voice AI and your IDX AI, and you're done, right? You don't even look at it anymore. Content strategy creation, identify your and measure your content, your KPIs for success, your quarterly creator content call. Once we get you going, you've done 10, you'll be kept, we'll also keep you on track. So this is my team, and now your new team, right? Braden is the he's got over a decade. He's young, but he's got over a decade of just building funnels for real estate. Like, that's what he does for a living. Holly Kitchens, brand specialist. She's got, I think she's close to 20 years. That's what she does. These aren't realtors or anything. These are specialists in their field. Jeff, one of the best in the world for the content strategy. Lisa Mazzio, system implementation. So in this, she's going to help get the systems working. Harley, for example, we teach you how to build a passive income while you're being successful in real estate. So you actually have an end goal in mind. You can actually stop doing real estate at some point and still keep making money. So that needs some coaching, and that's what Harley's all about. But basically, here's a better visual of the steps. So step number 1, we have to get the lead generation strategy down. We have to look at your market, and we have to look at you. Then we build out your funnels and launch your ads. And immediately right then, I know everybody thinks they're good at this. Trust me, you need conversion coaching, right? And unless you're doing conversion coaching, you need to stay on top of it too, to stay fresh, because that is a big deal in converting that 1%. That's where we get into the 1% versus 2%, quite frankly, is the quality of the conversion training. Steps 1 through 4 there, that's to get you going and to be more like to get money coming in. Then we move on to brand building. Only after your brands are all built out do we move on to content strategy. Now, we have 7, articulate your value. So for those people in Ontario, you probably know what the market's like here. You probably don't believe me. If you don't believe me, by all means, contact me. I'll take you on a Zoom meeting, and I'll show you 1,000 folders. You can pick whatever one, and whatever one you pick is going to be a listing for 6%. That's what I'm charging, but I'm up against probably on average 3.5 to 4, right? Which means sometimes that's the average. Sometimes I'm going up against free. If you sell your home with me, if you promise to buy with me, I'll sell your home free. I'm up against that, and I'm still getting 6%. So how do you articulate your value? People that are doing it in today's market, right? In fact, by the way, it's easier than ever to get more money. Easier than ever. Let me put it to you this way. It was more challenging when they have 40 offers on day 1, regardless of who they list with. And they know that's going to be the case. Right now, you go out and do an opinion of value in my area, right? Most of the listings have been listed 3 times, expired and relisted, probably on average 3, but some of them 6 and 7 times. Just go check. You'll find out. If you haven't done an opinion of value, go look and see how many listings are being relisted. Those people are sick and tired of being told, just reduce your price, reduce your price. They want to know more about what you bring to the table to get them top dollar. Easier than ever to get 6%, right? We just got a $4 million listing at 6%. We just got another one that we just saw, all 6%, right? So how do we do that? By the way, articulate your value relates to, this is for American and my friends in Ontario. America, you've got your NAR settlement, right? So here, know this. The top agents and teams in the world, or let's say North America, have been signing buyer agencies in advance for more than 15 years, probably around 20, right? Long before the NAR settlement, long before, on December 3rd, 2023, in Ontario, it became against the law to show a home to a non-client signed under buyer agency, save and accept your own listing. Because that's so basically, more specifically, the law became it's against the law to provide any degree of service to a non-client. Save and accept an opinion of value or showing your own listing, because that's providing service to your client, right? Subject to a $50,000 fine, right? Now, NAR is different. You know, we won't get into that, but essentially the same thing. You've got to meet a buyer in advance and sign them. We've been doing this for a long time in an environment where they can go anywhere else and nobody asks them to sign. So my team laughs, like we see, oh, look, a 2-hour meeting, because it's just new here. The board's having a 2-hour meeting, training on how to sign a buyer prior to showing them homes. A whole 2 hours, right? We've been doing it for 15 years. We still don't have it all right, but I can promise you this, we've got a lot of it right, and far beyond what other people are doing. And now it's even easier because there's mass uncompliance in our area right now, but that's a matter for another discussion. Anyways, back to articulate value. You have to be able to articulate your value to buyers before you start showing the homes, and to sellers, right? And then repeat and referral business. This is the right things. You have to do the right things in the right order at the right time, by the way. And this is the proper process. So imagine having an entire team of experts at your fingertips, helping you implement and grow your business. I'm going to say it again, 100% free, right? So you've listened to this presentation this far. You know, if you could sell more homes if you had some help. Implementation is mostly the big one. You know that this opportunity is exactly what you've been looking for. And if you'd like us to help you grow your business, we would be absolutely delighted. That's where we do really well, and that's what we like doing. So here's the next steps. Schedule a call with me. That's the calendar. Lisa will put it into the calendar. HBA, Honey Badger Agent, calendar.ca. By the way, this is really important. I think it's on the next slide, actually. This offer is only if you go here. Even if there's 13,000 honey badgers in our group, it is not open to all those. This is a small group within honey badgers right at the top that is paying for this marketing team to help other people. And we're the only ones that can offer this. So the ones that are paying for the marketing team. So if you, and why are we paying for the marketing team? Again, the evolution of the real estate model has made the opportunity bigger for me to help you than it is to grow a larger team or open a brokerage. That's the short answer, right? So that's where you book in with me if you have questions on how you get us working for you. Again, important, this opportunity only exists here with that link. It doesn't exist anywhere else. Even if you know our group and you know Honey Badger, it only exists here at this link at this time. And there's more. Buyer value proposition. How do we differentiate you from other agents? Because that's a big deal. And we have a process for doing this on how to get buyers assigned to exclusive buyer agency agreements. We have we figured this out. And it's your value. We even have a certification that you will get when you go through our training, and a certified home selling advisor certificate as well. How do we articulate the value to sellers? Would you like to know everything I'm doing that causes people to list at 6% when they got other agents offering to do it free? Why would somebody do that? You have to see it. It's a proven, repeatable system backed by research. Sell your home for 18% more than other methods of traditional agents. So what this is a daily training and collaboration. This is a tribe that we work together. It's not a brokerage or anything like that. It's a tribe. It's a Honey Badgers. Honey Badgers, not a brokerage. And you get direct access to me and my team for life free. There is nothing. It doesn't matter. I see some team leaders on here. It doesn't matter how experienced you are in this. We've already know where you are, what challenges you're facing. We've already been there. So for example, This is an example of a roadmap made by our group. We know from asking you a handful of questions, probably where you're at, what your challenge is right now, and how to get to the next level, right? By the way, side note, if you think it's all sunshine, roses, rainbows, and butterflies when you solve your current problem, I got news for you. There's a new one right around the corner. We also know what that's going to be, right? When I was getting my awards decades straight, everybody thought it was great to be me. I was in a tar pit, right? That's how it felt to me. So we've been here, we've done this, and we know exactly how to identify where you are and what challenge you're facing, how to fix it, and what you're going to face next. So this is a never-ending coaching, training, and business growth partnership. Now, if you want to learn to produce passive income while you're doing this, and I promise you, at some point, you're going to wish you did this, even if you don't resonate with now, you don't have to do any of this, right? But this is definitely one you should be focusing on. We will give you the exact system to use to recruit agents to build a passive income, and we do all the work. And guess what? We figured that out too, because we have over 13,000 agents attracted to honey badgers. So we've already know where you're at and how you go to the next stage in doing that. And that's how you build your passive income. If you want to learn more about the passive income and the opportunities provided in the brokerage we're in, is called EXP Realty. The passive opportunity is called Revenue Share. So exprevshare.ca if you want to learn about it. And EXP Overview, if you don't know anything about a brokerage, that's only 14-minute long, that EXP Overview. I would watch it so you get the real information about this brokerage, not the fake information. This brokerage is taking over. It's dominating in our industry. It's the fastest growing brokerage in all history. It does more transactions than any brokerage in history. But there's all kinds of bad things because it's annihilating brokerages essentially. So if you want to learn more about that, Lisa will put these links in the chat, exprevshare.ca and expoverview.ca. So I think there's been some questions. I see a lot of activity going on in the chat. Maybe we should just stop here. Lisa, I haven't been able to read it because I've been focusing on what I'm doing. Do you want to, you got some questions there?
Yeah, there's quite a few questions. There's some that go back to the IDX integrated websites. So Dennis wanted to know, with the IDX system, do you recommend a provider that integrates the IDX with your website at a reasonable cost per month and does not break the bank for a new agent?
Wow, I love that question because most people, okay, so the question was, do you have somebody that integrates your IDX into your website? And that's a very advanced form of thinking, by the way. So here's the number one mistakes agents make is like number one, right across the board. They get an IDX website and that's their primary site, right? So, and these companies are building these things so that they don't have to provide you with a lot of support, right? So it's a templated website. Number one, it's never going to rank organically, regardless of what they tell you. Number two, it is not the all-in-one solution that they hold it out to be. Remember what I said? It is the best marketer who wins, not the best realtor. Well, when you have an IDX website, you have almost zero control over marketing. It's structured and you can move a few things around here and there, but basically you don't have any control over your marketing. So when you said integrate, right? What happens is, well, here, I'll show you. Because I know the person understands who's asking, but you probably don't. It's easier to just show you. So give me a second and I'll show you what a properly structured, integrated website looks like. So, all right. So when we talk about integration, so this is a primary website. By the way, I have complete control over everything on this page, right? So I can change this wording here in a matter of seconds. I could change this slide in second, and it's easy to use. But here's what we mean by integration. Top listings in your area. This is not an IDX website. This has my IDX website integrated into it. So we will build shortlists. So if you click on this detached homes in Orangeville, it automatically goes to detached homes in Orangeville in that area, right? Now, the reality is, oh, you can do other things. So we want to see sold data. So sold, solds, right? So here's sold data with the same kind of links and integrations, right? So this is not an IDX website, but we're integrating it to be one. And by the way, having control over marketing. Here, just quickly, I'll give you the number. You want to know the #1 organic lead generation strategy on the planet. Hands down, nothing beats it. You guys want to know that? I'm going to go over on my time. Type in yes if somebody wants to see it. The #1 organic. How do you remember I said get free leads? You want to know how to get free leads? Somebody's got to type in yes or I'm not going to do it. Okay, we got a yes. All right. So you build a custom web page for the home. So here's a listing. Actually, we sold it like 24 hours ago. You build a custom web page for the home, right? And you pepper lead generators throughout the content of the website. So let me back up a little bit. So if you don't know this, backlinks determine organic results. How many backlinks, but also the weight of the backlinks. Google knows that Realtor.ca is the #1 real estate website in Canada. 1 million people, 1 million buyers a day are there. For my US friends, it's split between Realtor.com and Zillow, and it's about 33 million a day. But remember, we're the population of California. So Canadian friends, Realtor.ca, right? And if you find a listing on here, well, here's one of mine here. So you find a listing on here, and it's a typical listing, but check this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 backlinks. This one here, view the lead. They all go to the same page. It doesn't matter what backlink. You click and you land on the home's custom web page. Now, what we do is we pepper lead generators throughout the content, not on top, not on the bottom, throughout the content. So we don't know anything about the buyer that's coming here that we pulled from Realtor.ca and put them into our system. But it says to see more listings like this one in Erin in real time, click on that. We do know they're looking in Erin in this price range. So the #1 question we can ask them is, do you want to see more listings like this one in Erin in real time? And then you click here, and guess what it does? It takes you to your IDX site, integration, hence the question, IDX site, and it automatically pre-filters homes in that area, in that price range, but you got to register to do that. More information on the listing. You know what other question you can ask? Would you like to see sold listings in Erin like this one? Is anybody offering that? Answer, no. Click here and you'll automatically go to sold data in your IDX website. More information on the listing. Here's a peppered lead generator. Find out what your home is really worth. More information on the listing. And then get access to all sold information. This is different. This isn't homes like this one. Now we're targeting, well, if you have a home to sell, would you like to get access to all information just like a realtor? And you can do this now, and you should be doing that. More information on the listing, statistical USPs. Now we can throw other things in here like questions agents hate. By the way, they really do hate them because I wrote them to slant towards my unique selling proposition, right? And then all kinds of other things. So that is the number. So here's what you're doing. Here's the strategy. You're connecting to realtor.ca, where 1 million buyers are a day. You got to go to where the fish are. You're dragging them to your system, peppering lead gen. So where did this come from? I did a heat map on my website a long time ago, and I was spending like $1 million on advertising. And here's what I discovered. My website was mostly cold or lukewarm, but the red hot areas were listings. So that's where the pepper lead generators throughout the content comes from. And then what you're doing, the strategy is it's going to where the fish are, you're pulling them into your website and spitting them into your ecosystem. #1 organic lead generator for buyers on the planet. If you want me, I won't keep going, but if you want to know the #1 organic lead generator for sellers on the planet, hook up with me and I'll give you that at our meeting. Did I answer the question? I forgot what the question was. I love the question. What was the ultimate question there?
About integrating.
How about integrating? So that's how you integrate. And I would say meet with me. It's not a quick answer for you, but you have to have control of your environment. You got to be able to do custom things like this, right? And it's easy, by the way. It's not hard. You can do it. So any other questions, Lisa?
Yes, there is a question from one of the team leaders asking, they would like to know what's in it for our team.
Oh, how about this? So it depends how you're running your team. I think it's a mistake to tell the agents on your team they can't advertise themselves. We had a system, like we did most of the ads and they generally didn't. But some of them wanted to go, I want to run my own ads and do this kind of stuff. So I know a lot of teams don't do that, but you should be allowing to do that if they want to. And one of the things, depending on the structure of your team, is they will get the marketing and implementation team for each one of them, right? Because maybe your team, you have slightly different areas and people that want to do slightly different things. So it's a customized approach
Sorry,
to
Kev.
To the entire team. Yep.
I could be wrong, but I think they mean in terms of helping.
Oh, yeah. So the whole marketing team will help each individual person, not just the team leader. By the way, for the team leader, people are here. You're here in this webinar because I didn't call you. I called nobody in this webinar, but a large number of people in this webinar will book into my calendar to want to know more. We have a system that is duplicatable, your own webinar. By the way, the webinar is done for you. Duplicatable system for a team leader to attract more agents, either to them or in order to build passive income, right? And it's a very powerful offer. So for a team leader, we have a system of duplication to grow your team or to grow your brokerage. And I mean, I've seen team leaders grab onto the system I'm talking about. It's called Accelerate, by the way. And your team will grow as big as you want it, and it will grow as fast as you want it. I've seen teams triple and quadruple using our Accelerate system, which is essentially an offer to help them. So here's what the team leader gets. You get the ability to offer funnel pilot. It only goes down one level, right? It doesn't go deeper than that, otherwise we'd swamp the team. You get the ability to offer Accelerate, the system that attracts agents, and then the offer funnel pilot, the whole marketing team, to anybody who's on your team or who partners with you. Hopefully that answered the question. If not, just book in with me and I'll give you a custom answer one-on-one. What else we got?
Let's see here. Just gotta go back a little bit. Somebody wants to know if we can work with agents in the US.
Yes. We work with all kinds of agents in the US. We have agents almost in every state in the US. We have agents in every province in Canada. There's 13,000 of us. And yes, we do. In fact, my partner is American, Jay Kinder, one of the top producing agents in North America. Yeah.
I think that was it.
Okay. Great. Well, hope you guys enjoyed. I didn't give you the last bit. Hold on. There's one more short video. Let me stop this share. Hold on. Let me stop this. And I'll get to the last short video. So this video is under 1 minute long. And this will conclude the webinar at the end of this video. But this is the real question that realtors should be asking themselves in real estate. Thanks for attending. You guys have been great. I loved all the questions and the feedback, by the way. Again, it makes me feel like I'm not alone talking to myself when you're working virtually in an office. So thanks for attending. Hope to see you in my schedule for a one-on-one, and have a great day. Trading time for money has never been a method of building wealth.
Successful people teach us that wealth is built through duplication, equity, revenue share, and multiple streams of income. Hi, this is Kevin Flaherty, and I have just one question. If you got into real estate to build wealth, why are you at a brokerage that doesn't offer this?